Now, the thing that's important about listening to your music is, as we talk about the generation gaps and divides, the generations are actually closer than we think. The reason why I say that is because what we had in our generation was the person who built the artist, where that's gone now. And so many young artists,
right.
Yeah, so many artists hear today's music and be like, this trash, but they hear 90s music and they go, yo, that was dope, I want more of that. And they're actually, as they elevate, make that type of music. What was your elevation to become the MC that you are?
Oh man, it was. Can I put it in perspective of artists? Because when you're young, only thing you can learn from and mimic is those guys. Because that's how you're gonna learn. A student must watch the teacher, right?
Of course.
So when I think of cats like it's different sides to it. When I think of my charisma, I think of Jay, Pop, Biggie, Nas for charisma.
Okay.
When I think of lyricism, I think of Cassidy, Banks, Jadakiss, Fabulous. Like, these are the guys that I watched. And when I say Banks, I mean Lloyd Banks.
Of course.
50 Cent in the charismatic form.
Right.
LL Cool J, charismatic. Rakim, lyricism. KRS-One. These are the guys who you had to be great with your words. These guys, you had to learn how to smile, give them something, because you can be dope. I can be the dopest lyricist rapping with my head down. And I have dope words, but I have nothing else. You hear me, but you don't feel me. So that's what being charismatic is all about. So it took me years to build my charisma. Once I got to that point, it was like, oh, I'm not looking back. And then now, and then I can fucking rap too? Oh shit, I'm fucking dangerous now. So that's when Phenomenal really disappeared and it became RAP.
I feel that because you know what? Like I said, with everybody you name, I don't feel that in your music. Right. To be honest with you, I think of you in the Sigel Mobb Deep lane. And the reason why is because when I think about the Sigel era and the Sigel lane, is that his beats brought the best out of him when he was able to punch a beat into submission vocally. And you can do the same thing. And then I think of the Mobb Deep era because I think of look what Illa G is compared to where he came from. And I think about you by saying, I would have loved to have heard you spar with Big Noyd on Recognize and Realize and see how you would have flowed on that. The reason why your words are put together so well is because you don't cater to the beat. You rhyme your truth and the beat has the nod, its tempo to your voice.
I got something to share. He did it backwards. Like, I put it together forward, he dissected it backwards. This guy is dope. I like this guy. He's a real A&R. Like,
well, talk about it. What
it's funny. And there's one person that I didn't mention. One direction I didn't mention is delivery. And there's two artists to me. When I think of the class of MCing that I am, when it comes to delivery, there's two artists that I can think of that are like perfectly in this direction. It's Busta Rhymes and Eminem.
That's two opposite sides of the spectrum.
No, well, here's the thing. It all depends on when you're talking about delivery. I'll explain to you. Okay. You know, MCs, I can talk about this, right? Busta Rhymes, there is what I call a lean. It's a lean. It's on, but it's off beat. It's off, but it's on beat.
It's his own rhythm.
It's his own rhythm. And when I figured it out after I've been doing it. And I'm like, where the fuck did I get this from? Like, how did I learn how to, like, I remember I was in New York City and there was a group called, I can't remember what it's called, but they did this, like this freestyle challenge thing. And I can't remember the group. It was Sunday night. I remember the place. It was at Club Pyramid because I used to go there faithfully. But on Sundays they did this, and what they do is you had to, like, if they pull it out of the hat, you had to rap to it. I really didn't care that I was a writer. Not that I can't freestyle, but I cared more so about written lyrics than anything. But I enjoyed the guys who got into it. They pull it out the hat, you had to rap around to it. But there was a part where I killed that. And it was, they would put on a beat, right? And they would change beats, and it would be different tempos. And no matter where they went, you had to go. And I remember people watching me in awe, like, yo, he didn't break a breath, he didn't break a rhythm, he didn't break anything. And I'm like, how am I able to do this effortlessly? And then one day I was listening to what album Busta Rhymes was it? ELE, I think.
Okay.
I can't remember what song it was. And then I heard and watched him on and off. I said, that's my biggest inspiration right there for me. It's the only way I could have picked that up. It's the only way I could have picked that up. So there you go. So you dissected it. That's how I put it together.
Now see, I, through studying you,
Okay.
have something in common with you.
Okay.
And that's looking for the intricacies of things to expression.
Gotcha.
That's why my interviews are the way they are.
Right.
So as we said off camera, you have a love for the late Raiders. My second favorite team of all time football is the Raiders. Shout out to Bo Jackson. He's like the most incredible athlete I've ever seen in my life. Fuck Beyonce.
Yeah. He got me watching it, and then from there I learned about Tim Brown, which is my childhood idol. Period.
So for me, it was LT and Bo Jackson.
Okay.
And what I learned as I matured was something of your favorite is the personification of you that you've taken on. So with LT, it wasn't his ferociousness I liked in his game. It was his ability to change the narrative so nobody could put you in a box. With Bo Jackson, it was the ability to change the narrative so nobody could put you in a box. Because Bo Jackson was the first all-star MVP level player of baseball and football at the same time.
Right.
So the narrative can never be equal.
Right.
When I look at you, your favorite something had to put on you part of your personality that came through in your expression of lyrics. What actually inspired you, and then how did you give birth to it on your own?
Oh, I had a relative. I seen him, we were at a talent show when I was about 10 years old. He was a grade ahead. He was in 4th grade. No. He was in 5th grade. I was in 4th grade. Wait, what grade is that? When you're in 10th grade, no, when you're in 4th grade, how old are you? 9?
Yeah.
Yeah. 9, right?
9.
So I had to be
9.
Yeah, I had to. So I had to be about 9 years old then, and I seen this guy. Now, mind you, he just was fun and playful. He didn't never take it serious. And he did a talent show, and he got up on stage and he rapped, and then they loved it. We're like 9, 10 years old. He got up there and killed it, and I said, I've never wrote a rhyme in my life. I've never did this, but I want to do that. And that was it. All I played was video games and watched Bo Jackson. I walked around with a football. That's what it was. It was football first.
Tecmo Ball.
There you go. Zigzag. Remember zigzagging across the screen? You know what I'm saying?
Who didn't have a number 34?
Exactly. Then when Super Nintendo version came around, Jerry Rice didn't drop nothing. You couldn't beat him. I hated
Rafferty was the man.
Steve Young, this motherfucker. Yeah, but anyway, so I walked around with a football, and that's all it is. Like, yo, you gonna be the best wide receiver ever. And then I found that microphone, and I remember just going to football practice and like writing rhymes at practice. I didn't care about football like that anymore. That was it. And I just never stopped. From that day I saw my cousin on stage, I never stopped. So anybody who came along and just started rapping, I was inspired. If you was in a circle and I was chilling, I was inspired. And then once I was able to say my own rhyme and had a confidence enough to say, oh, this is good, that was it.
Two-part question. Let me do the first one first.
Okay.
In relation to sports, right? The purpose of football is not to score a touchdown. The purpose of football is not to get hit. Because if you get hit, you can't score. And if you get tackled, you can't progress. Hip-hop is the same way. How do you make people miss so you don't get hit when you perform?
Well, I'm gonna be honest. One, I work on my speed. I work on my strengths. I work on my abilities. And on the back end of that, with those strengths, those speeds, and that ability, you have to know what your weaknesses are and protect them. And that's why I score every time.
So then, what was the biggest obstacle that you had to prove yourself in? Because if you're an athlete, you got to prove yourself at the combine to be chosen.
Mm-hmm.
What was your combine? What was it that you thought you had to work on the most? And how did you know when you became chosen?
It's so many levels to that question, because I've learned, I've tackled so much in the long, I've elevated myself on, so it'd be like, oh, the receiver, he's fast, but his hands are suspect. Mm-hmm. He can't take a hit. Like, I had to learn how to catch, turn around, stiff arm, put my shoulder down in case the big safety is like, if I was a receiver and I was Jerry Rice and Jack Tatum was coming, come on Tatum, I'm ready for you.
Right.
Nobody's trying to get in front of that hit. So I had to get to that point. So, to unfigurate that question and answer it directly, because I'm figurative with everything. I guess that's why I'm an MC. It was, I can't say it was confident. I always had the confidence. It was never confidence. It was just picking the right beats. It was writing the right song. It was never the skill, never the delivery. All of that stuff was there. It's the ability to say, hey, it's a room full of women. This is going to be my show. It's a room full of older people. This is going to be my show. It's a room full of niggas with hoodies on. This is going to be my show. Oh, it's children in the room. Edit, clean up. This is going to be my show. It was that ability. And, okay. So no, that's what the main, for me, that was the it factor to your question.
HeritageHipHop.com and Out the Mud Music Group brings you the classic mixtape, The BC Era. Out right now exclusively on HeritageHipHop.com. The BC Era mixtape features the classics. It's lit.
Place your bets, we next. No need to humble flex. Easy, all it is a grin on the way to the check.
Soul Food.
Bow our heads and say grace, and thank the Lord that I made it out that grave place. Shit got doubt for me, my mind was in an enslaved state. Crack the cuffs out the box, steaming like a crave case.
And the new single, Again It's On.
Words, a wizard with pictures painted. I pick up a pen and paper and illustrate vivid statements of what is considered greatness.
Right now, go to HeritageHipHop.com and download on the world premiere page the BC Era mixtape. You can thank us later.